Well, what an exciting day it is. A little crisp here this morning in San Antonio, Texas. And we are talking about core values and how they actually will make or break your business. Andrea and I have built a very successful business. We own and run a healthcare marketing and public relations agency. And we are actually on track for this year to generate $700,000 in revenue. And our goal next year is $1 million. And we found that especially when you are right there between 600 and $1 million, what gets you to $1 million is your core values. And Andrea, do you have an idea, or can you explain to our audience why the core values are so essential to growth?
Absolutely. First of all, just backing up here and let's get something clear. I think a lot of people are confused, and I heard this actually through one of my mentors. And I think a lot of people confuse values and virtues. So values are principles or standards that are considered as important or desirable. Virtues are qualities that are considered to be good or desirable in a person. So this is really nice because when you think about it, you cannot hold yourself to what someone considers to be good or desirable. You can hold yourself to a standard, a principle that a company would set. So, when you have those values, those core values in your company, everything that you do revolves around that. Like everything, your mission, there's different names, different words for it, but it all comes back to what you hold to be that core principle that guides you and the standard that you hold everyone else to, versus like your clients, also your team. And really, without those, it's kind of hard for people to meet you where you want them to be because you haven't set a standard for them. And this sort of just ties into also having a vision for your company and knowing what direction you want to go. But I would say that is pretty much the importance of having values, because you want to make sure you're rowing in the right direction, the same direction as they say, and all of if you don't know what standard you're being held to, how can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely, Andrea. And I can for sure say that what you said about knowing where to go with your company, the so-called mission statement that every business book essentially talks about, that it gets increasingly important as you grow and as you reach that mark where you're nearing $1 million in revenue. And we can talk about our company and how it evolved. At the beginning, it was actually a freelancing operation, and I was a jack of all trades. I was pretty good at a lot of things, and when you are just starting out as a freelancer, you are in need of income and you accept any type of work that pays the bills. Ideally, you wouldn't do that, but it's very normal that you do because you need to pay the bills. So what happened was that as the operations grew and I transitioned from freelancer to employer and agency owner, all of these different pillars of operation grew with us. So there was IT, there was marketing, copywriting, social media, video, event event management, event promotion, websites. There used to be a time where we built apps. There was so much hosting, domains, emails, texts. I mean, the list is really, really very long. If you go to our website right now, Andrea, under services, you can still see how big that list is. And
Truly.
and the reality was, and still is to this day, that all these pillars are really income producing. Now, here's the challenge. Again, we want to break through that $1 million boundary in revenue per year. And on that way, there are some very, very tough business decisions to make, because there's like, when you get to 1 million or you're about to break that, your company has to grow up. It's business adulting. You can no longer just make decisions that, there's lots of ways to generate income, but you have to think about so many principles, whether you should do it and how you should do it. And you have to start saying no way more often. You have to build a team. You have to build systems and processes that facilitate that growth, that make it possible. And that all is not possible if you don't have these values, these core values that guide you in your decision process. We have said no to opportunities that would have generated a lot of income, but because they have not aligned with our values, we said no. As a freelancer back then, I would have said yes 10 times, because you're just in a position where you're willing to do whatever you need to do to get that income in. But that is no longer possible if you are at that stage that we are in right now. And we need to put in systems in place, and also consistency.
Can I just jump in really quickly?
Absolutely, because you have the perspective from the operations.
Oh yes, so definitely, I think in just going back again to talking about values when running business, it really comes down to, and when you're trying to decide what services to offer and how to service clients and how your team will operate it, if you don't understand what's important to you, then it'll be tough. When I think about how we hold people to standards and how we're going to do a play-by-play, okay, this is the game we're going to run, this is what we do. You really do have to make a decision. And there are, again, going back to that difference between virtues and values, there's like universal principles that are true, or maybe, everyone would agree that you should be ethical, but that's not how every company operates. And that reveals one of their values, and so, or maybe some value quantity over volume. And we're not that company. We value volume. I'm sorry. We value quality over volume, and that dictates, how we run and who we say no to. And so I think that when you sit down and you decide on your values, you also have to be honest with yourself and think about not just what you would desire, but what's actually happening in your company, because then you're able to be more strategic about going forward, and whether there's a service you'll discontinue or continue. We've made some changes based on habits and trends that we've seen within our own company, and I think that has caused a reassessment in a very good way of how we can continue to operate and serve in to the fullest of our capacity. It determines our hiring, our firing, our rewarding system in place, because we hold people to standards, and when they meet them, or don't meet them, then we act.
Yeah, everything you say is so true, Andrea. We are right now, again, I cannot repeat it often enough. We have $1 million within reach, and you and I have to make some tough decisions. And, for example, just to give an example, if you are focused on, if one of your core principles is high value exchange between us and whoever works with us, well, then we also have to analyze whether our client, what they do, is of high value exchange.
Yes.
And if it is something we don't believe in because we think we as a company don't believe in what our client does and what they try to change and do in the world, then we have to say no to it. And we did,
I love that.
because just prostituting yourself literally, for anyone who pays you money, it's just not gonna work out. And that is really also something that reflects on the multitude or narrow amount of services you offer to the world. And that is something that I believe our company will go through in the next months, where when you go to our services page, there you will see less there in the future.
Yes,
And
I love this so much.
yeah, and I did want to mention briefly, if you find value in these thoughts, and if you want to be plugged into more and be part of a community and be kind of guided through your process of getting your company to the point where you are scratching $1 million in revenue, where you build up online presence, where you build up character, mindset, vision, and also online visibility, leads, incoming leads, of course, then we have a community for you, a club. Actually, it's the Shanks.club. So you want to go to SHANKX.club, and you will see that it's only $27 a month. And here is what I'm going to do for you to reward you, because you are listening to us live here. You can use the coupon code LIVE, LIVE, and then this rate will drop to $7 a month for life. So definitely go check that out. Andrea, what happens if we kind of go, we're talking company level here, so not everybody is at the level where they have $1 million within reach. And then, there's also a lot of people out there, individuals, freelancers, people also who haven't even started their business yet, who are asking themselves, well, what is my value? What are my core values?
Yeah.
And I would like to give our listeners a tool or a process, if you will, that can help them discover that.
So, a process or a tool to help you discover how to select your values. First of all, you need to begin with being honest. And maybe this is a preliminary step to what you have in mind for the outline of how to select your values. But be honest, and then think about some of the rules that you already have in place, which are principles, because values help to form principles. So if you notice a rule like, I'm not doing this, or we do that, or whatever, typically those rules are going to be those behavior patterns that you see, or the way that you operate, it's all guided by your values. And so whatever those qualities are, I mean, that's just to get your brain kind of thinking, right? And then you want to sit down and think about, okay, so who is at the top of their game? Who is do I really admire? Who is running stuff at an excellent level, or whatever the value is, right? The quality, you determine that. And then start listing it. Start there, because here's the truth. A lot of times we want to act like we have these values, or we believe we have these values, but what you do doesn't always match what you say and what you believe. Sometimes we deceive ourselves. And it's not necessarily, like I said, in a bad way. It's just the way things are, the way things have been. Maybe you've always done it this way, but you really need to tease that out. So start with being honest, then think about people who operate in a way that you love, and then write it out. Start listing those traits, start listing those characteristics.
Yeah, I like that. And I will add to this. You know, some of you might still find it hard to write these things down because it's just not everybody is as in touch with their core values as we are. But here's something you can try and do. Everybody has a childhood hero, or everybody has books that they have read where there was a character that they really admired. Everybody has a relative that they look up to. Everybody has a company that they are kind of a fan of. And I want you to kind of think about these different characters, whether they are people or companies or concepts, and then just write down a list of keywords, as Andreas said, of what you like and admire about these people, books, entities. I mean, it could even be abstract things such as music or art, okay? But that really brings out of you and out of your leadership team, if you are a larger company, this is something you should do with your leadership team. What truly is a core value of yours? And then later down the road, you might have 30, 40 words written down, depending on how much you found and how many people did that. But later down the road, you try and categorize those words, and you find similarities. You see, if it's compassion and love and caring, well, maybe that is one category, and it can be summarized with a word, like we care about people and the world. And that is definitely a exercise that I recommend you do, so that you can distill all your thoughts into maybe 3 to 7 core values and bullet points. And I find this by the way, Andrea and we didn't come up with this exercise. This is part of a book that is called Traction, which we really love. And you'll find that exercise at the beginning of the book. And it is just, I have often heard business advisors and gurus and courses give you the task of writing your mission statement, your vision statement, your values, all of these things. And it's not, again, I know it's not necessarily easy for anyone. For some, yeah, they have it all in their head and they write it down and there it is. But others need some guidance. And this is by far the best process I have discovered to make that happen.
Yeah. I just want to add to that, because it's true, maybe it's all in your head or whichever, but that's why when you look to people, or some things don't lie. And these people or these companies or entities that you look up to or that stand out to you, first of all, it's really neat to think about brand awareness, right? I mean, I don't think there's a person on the planet that doesn't know some bit of Steve Jobs' story, which is really awesome in itself. And we should all strive to be known for that. Like, people know a lot of his values. But I mean, and if you read his biography or you read articles or interviews, you see interviews with his family and things like that, you actually find out, I mean, family may not have been one of his core values because there's a lot of complaints from family that he was not exactly the best dad or this or that. And I don't say that to, his shame. I just say that you can still be honest with yourself. That's such an important part of the process. Maybe you're an animal charity, so you don't really care about humans all that much. Just be honest. Or an organization, maybe it is for whatever. But the point is that you can tease that out. And when people come to you, either to work for you or to hire you, you can make decisions around the truth, like around what you've decided, and then create principles or rules based on your values. So maybe, it's not to say you wish the world doom and gloom, but what is important to you, what's important to your corporation or your organization is just, maybe it's animals, maybe it's caretaking for them or this or that. It doesn't always have to be this grandiose, we're going to save the planet, we're going to save the world, or we're going to, bring all the orphans into whatever, this noble idea. It's how you choose to make a difference with your company, with yourself, and being truthful about that and operating around that. There's consistency there. So you don't frustrate yourself. You don't frustrate your team or people that work with you because your values, your true core values aren't aligning with your behavior. So I just wanted to throw that out there about the importance of being honest and doing this exercise and taking time and not just running over it, because it truly drives everything that you do.
Yeah, Andrea, I love this. And we are nearing our end of our segment here this morning, but I just wanted to remind people again to go to shankx.club, shankx.club, use the coupon code LIVE, LIVE, and have access to weekly videos that really go in depth about a topic that will help you grow, that will help you get to your million. Just this week, we released a video that talks about 4 easy steps for you to have an abundance of content ideas every day so you can get the word out and you can get that organic traffic to your websites. Because what you need once you have your ideas ready and your services and products on websites and landing pages, you need traffic. And you can either pay for it or you can use organic traffic. And both methods are valuable, but of course the organic route is a little bit more affordable. So a lot of you, I know, will have limited ways, limited means to generate that traffic. You have a website and a landing page and you spend a lot of time, maybe a lot of money, making it really nice. And you thought, well, traffic, leads, visitors, they're going to come out of the blue. And you find out that that is not at all the case. You can have the greatest landing page in the world. If you don't have traffic to it, nothing will happen. So go to shankx.club and get some help there for only $7 a month with the coupon code LIVE. It is less than a cup of coffee, the price of a cup of coffee, guys and gals. So make it a wonderful day, and we'll see you very, very soon again on this platform. Bye.
Bye-bye.